Hello students, today we are covering lesson 7.4 on quadrilaterals. Please follow along with me on page 294 in your textbook. Our key idea for today can be found on page 294. I would like you to write down the key idea and also draw this diagram. A quadrilateral is a polygon that has four sides. So remember, a polygon is any shape that is a closed figure. Now, in this diagram, you'll see several different types of quadrilaterals. A quadrilateral is anything with four sides. You can have a trapezoid as a quadrilateral, and a trapezoid has exactly one pair of parallel sides, and I'm highlighting those parallel sides here. Parallel means they have the same slope and the lines are equal distance from each other. The parallelogram is a quadrilateral with opposite sides that are parallel and also congruent. So this side is parallel to this side. You'll notice the little arrow marks to show that they're parallel. And the left side is parallel to the right side. The sides are also equal. Now, a kite has two pairs of congruent adjacent sides, like this one here. They're congruent and adjacent, and this one here. And the opposite sides are not congruent. So if I looked at this side here, it is not congruent or equal to the longer side here. So that's what makes it a kite. Now, within the parallelogram, we have many different types of parallelograms, as you can see here. You can have a rectangle that's a parallelogram. It has four right angles, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And notice how it also has opposite sides that are congruent and opposite sides that are parallel. A rhombus is a parallelogram, and all four sides are the same measure. They're all congruent. Now, if you combine a rectangle and a rhombus, it will lead you to a square. And a square is a parallelogram with four congruent sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, and four right angles, as you can see here. So a square is a rhombus, and a square is also a rectangle. So pause if you need more time to copy this down. It's also found in your textbook. Now, on number 1, we need to classify the quadrilaterals. So looking at number 1, this quadrilateral has four congruent sides, 1, 2, 3, 4. The way to tell that they are congruent is by looking at what we call the tick marks here. When they have one tick mark on each side, that means they're all the same measure. It also has four right angles, one in each corner. So by looking at the diagram on the previous slide, four right angles and four congruent sides says it must be a square. So number 1 is a quadrilateral that is a square. Part B has two pairs of congruent adjacent sides. Here and here is one of them. You'll notice they are adjacent because they touch at this common point, and the sides are congruent because they both have one tick mark. On the opposite side, this side is longer, so it has two tick marks, and these two lines share a common point there. So this quadrilateral must be a kite. Now I would like you to classify the quadrilateral for on your own numbers 1 through 3. So pause the video and draw the pictures, then write the classification below. On page 295, we have our next key idea, and this is about the sum of the angle measures of a quadrilateral. It says the sum of the angle measures, the measures inside the quadrilateral, always add up to 360 degrees. So if we added angle W plus X plus Y plus Z, it would equal 360. So I would like you to copy down the key idea. Then I want you to think about what shape could be made if you cut a quadrilateral in half. So if we took this quadrilateral and I cut it in half like this, it makes two pieces. Think about what shape is being made. If you notice, there's a triangle here and a triangle here. So when we cut it in half, it forms two triangles. So this brings us back to our review from the extension from 7.3 that we did in class. The sum of the angle measures of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. If a triangle adds up to 180 degrees, if we combine two triangles, as you see in the quadrilateral up here, 180 plus 180 would add up to 360 degrees. Therefore, if we cut a quadrilateral in half, you have two triangles. So you can see that if we put two triangles together, it would make a quadrilateral. So I want you to see that relationship there. If you need to, copy this down for your own benefit. Now, example 2 is finding the angle measures of a quadrilateral. Here we need to add up all four angles. So we have 70 plus 115 plus 75 plus x, and it all adds up to 360 degrees. So we combine like terms. 70 plus 115 plus 75 adds up to 260 plus x equals 360. Isolate the variable x, so subtract 260 from each side. Cancels out. Subtract 260 here, and you will find that x is equal to 100 degrees. And if you notice, it's an obtuse angle, and so 100 degrees does seem reasonable. Now we're going to learn how to construct a quadrilateral on page 295. We're going to draw a parallelogram with a 60-degree angle and a 120-degree angle. So our first step when we construct is always to start with a straight line. Let me go back and do a solid line. So here's my straight line. Now, I need to measure an angle that is 60 degrees. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to put a point for my vertex just so I know where I'm measuring. And I'm going to measure 60 degrees all the way up to 60. Let's bring the line back so it lines up with 0. There we go. So here's our 60-degree angle. I'm going to trace it here, put a little point, and I know this measure is 60 degrees. So now when I pick up my protractor, I have a 60-degree angle. Now I'm going to start at another point here. And now I need a 120-degree angle from the opposite side. So this time I'm measuring the inside angle. So I'm going to measure from the left, starting at 0, and I'm going to make 120 degrees. And if you notice, 120 degrees also lines up with 60 degrees. So this angle here is 120. So I'm going to put a point here, draw the line, connecting the points. It's not quite perfect, but it's close. And there's 120 degrees. Please label the inside measures. Now, if I move my protractor out of the way and I connect the fourth side, I straighten out my line a little bit, you will see that I have a parallelogram formed. Now, opposite angles are congruent. So this angle here would be 120 degrees. You can check by measuring. And this opposite angle here would be 60 degrees. You can also show the arrows to show that these two sides are parallel and these two sides are parallel. Okay, right now I'd like you to try on your own 4, 5, and 6. Pause the video to work these out. Your exit ticket for today is to find the value of x for A and B. Remember, quadrilaterals equal 360 degrees. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.